What really defines the value of a gift? In a world where luxury and ostentation are often seen as synonymous with success, it's easy to forget that the real thing about parties goes far beyond the price we pay for something. In the video, rich mom shames a poor mom for cheap presents, instantly regrets it. We are confronted with an uncomfortable truth. Sometimes wealth can blind people to what really matters. But what happens when simplicity and love prove to be more valuable than any expensive object? Get ready for a story that challenges our perceptions of wealth, love, and the true spirit of Christmas. Imagine being at a Christmas party where everything revolves around status and ostentation. It was in this exact scenario that a rich mother decided to ridicule another mother for bringing homemade cookies and a handmade Christmas ornament. When considering the effort and care invested in preparing these gifts, the rich mother chooses to highlight the difference between her exclusive options and the simple gifts presented by the other. This type of attitude reveals a limited view of what really matters in the festivities: human connection and love. In a world where the value of something is often measured by its price, forgetting that the true meaning of celebrations lies in the gesture and in the heart can be a fatal mistake. This situation is not that uncommon. How many times in our daily lives do we see someone being underestimated simply because what they offer is not expensive enough? The poor mother, by bringing cookies made with her son, demonstrates that the value is not in the money spent, but in the time and dedication invested. And this is something that can easily be applied to our lives. Often, we are so focused on the material that we forget to pay attention to the small, affection-filled actions around us. When you prefer to judge the value of a gift by its price, try to see what it represents. Maybe it's an opportunity to see the world with different eyes. The party, which should be a moment of unity and fun, quickly turns into a stage for demonstrating power and superiority. The rich mother, with her $10 cookies each, believes she is above everyone, and this thought blinds her to what really matters. This blindness is something that many of us have experienced in different contexts. Whether at work, in social circles, or even in family settings, the desire to prove that we are better or more successful can lead us to mean-spirited behavior. And when that happens, it's easy to forget that, at the end of the day, what counts isn't what we have, but how we treat others. At times like these, it's important to remember that the true spirit of Christmas, and life in general, is sharing, giving of yourself, no matter how much money you have involved. The holidays, in particular, are an opportunity to reflect on what really has value in our lives. And instead of getting lost in superficial comparisons, we can choose to value what matters: relationships, moments of joy, and, above all, the love we put into each gesture, no matter how small. This is exactly where a powerful lesson emerges, preparing the ground for the next moment of reflection, when the value of what is done with love begins to be recognized. Amid the tension of the party, the poor mother remains firm and proud of the gifts she brought, even after being ridiculed. Unlike the rich mom, who buys her cookies from an award-winning chef, the poor mom puts her heart into every detail. Together with her son, she bakes and decorates cookies with love and care. It's as if each piece of dough is a small representation of the true Christmas spirit, something that money simply can't buy. And that's a useful lesson. The real value of a gift isn't in its price, but in the intention behind it. This act of cooking and creating something together with your child is not just a simple tradition. It's a way to strengthen bonds and teach an important lesson about gratitude and generosity. Think about it. How many times have you found yourself buying an expensive gift just to impress, without worrying about what it really means? In the case of the poor mother, she chose something that had a deeper meaning. And this makes us reflect. Are we putting love and care into everything we offer? Or are we just seeking validation through what is expensive and luxurious? What would you give as a gift if money wasn't an option? Hand-decorated cookies symbolize something that is often forgotten in modern celebrations: the value of being present, of dedicating time and effort to something that cannot be bought. Unlike rich mom's gourmet cookies, which are merely a status symbol, poor mom's cookies carry an emotional charge that touches the heart of the recipient. It's a clear example of how something done with love can have a much greater impact than something done just to impress. This simple gesture of making something with your own hands, especially together with your child, is a practical example that many of us can apply to our own lives. Instead of searching for the perfect gift in expensive stores, why not create something that truly represents who we are and how we feel about the ones we love? This can be as simple as cooking together, creating a photo album, or even writing a letter. What matters is the intention and love we put into these actions. After all, that's what the most memorable moments are made of. And so, as the party guests begin to realize the true value behind the simple gifts, we see an unexpected move unfold that will turn the tide in the poor mother's favor. As the party continues, something unexpected happens. One of the guests, touched by the simplicity of the poor mother's handmade Christmas ornament, asks to exchange his luxurious gift for that ornament. To everyone's surprise, the simple ornament carries a sentimental value that awakens childhood memories. This shows how, often, what really matters is not the financial value of a gift, but the memories and feelings it can evoke. The poor mother's ornament, made with care and dedication, takes on new importance as it reminds the other person of precious moments in their life. This exchange request is a clear sign that despite all the glitz and glamour of expensive gifts, people yearn for deeper connections. It's like that old photograph, kept for years, that is worth much more than any expensive piece of art simply because of the memories it represents. The handmade Christmas add-on wasn't just a gift. He was a link to the past, to the feeling of home, to the warmth of family traditions. And it is exactly this type of gift that resonates most deeply with people, because it carries a story, a part of who we are. However, this moment of recognition does not happen by chance. It is the result of the consequences with which the gift was made. The poor mother, when making the compliment with her son, placed a piece of herself in that object, and, in a way, this transparency shines through and touches the heart of whoever sees it. This makes us wonder, how often do we underestimate the power of something simple and made with love? Maybe it's time to reevaluate what really matters, both when giving and receiving gifts. Sometimes, a gift can be much more than meets the eye, precisely because of the story it carries. This moment of exchange also teaches us another important lesson. Simple things, when conveyed with meaning, can surpass even the most extravagant of gifts. In the real world, this is something we can apply to our own lives. Instead of constantly searching for items of high material value, we can start to value objects that bring emotional meaning more. An old book that belongs to a beloved relative, a piece of jewelry passed down from generation to generation, or even a simple handwritten note can have a profound impact, far beyond what we can imagine. And so, the poor mother begins to realize that her gesture of humility and affection is, in fact, touching the hearts of the people around her. The story, however, still has more to reveal, as the true meaning of Christmas goes beyond the gifts and is prepared to be remembered by everyone present at the party. The crucial moment of the party arrives when the poor mother, after all the humiliation and contempt, decides to talk about the true meaning of Christmas. She explains that even though she can't buy expensive gifts or hire renowned chefs, she teaches her son something much more valuable: the power of love and gratitude. For her, Christmas isn't about how much money you spend, it's about how much love you give. This teaching resonates deeply, as it is a reminder that what really matters in life are the bonds we form and the lessons we leave for our children. This lesson is a stark contrast to the materialistic approach of the rich mother, who believes that expensive gifts are what define the value of the holidays. However, the gratitude of the poor mother's son, who cherishes his simple picture frame, shows that what really has value is the love with which this gift was given. It's a clear example that sometimes the simplest gifts can be the most meaningful, especially when they come with the intention of showing affection and care. This makes us reflect on how we are experiencing our own celebrations. Are we focused on material values or not what really matters? The lesson that the poor mother teaches her son goes beyond the Christmas present. It's a life lesson. By teaching the value of gratitude and simplicity, she is preparing her child to face the world with a generous heart, something money can't buy. Instead of creating unrealistic expectations about what he should receive, she teaches him to value what he has and to be grateful for the love and effort put into each gift. This is something many of us can apply to our own lives. Instead of focusing on what we don't have, we can learn to appreciate what we already have, and that brings us more joy than any expensive object. Furthermore, This lesson of love overrides materialistic judgment, showing that the value of a person is not that they can buy, but not that they can offer from the heart. And that's exactly what turns the poor mother's moment of humiliation into a moral victory. By teaching your child what really matters, she gains something much more precious than any expensive gift: respect and true love from those close to her. It makes us wonder, what are we teaching our children, friends, and family about what is most important in life? It's a question worth reflecting on. And thus, the spirit of Christmas reveals itself in its purest form. As party guests begin to understand the true meaning of the celebrations, an even deeper reflection emerges on how we can apply these values to our own lives and make them last long beyond the end of the festivities. Now that you know this story, the question remains, what really matters to you? Are we so caught up in the material value of things that we forget what really makes a difference? By preferring to focus on price, how about we start valuing the love and affection we put into each gesture? What can you do today to show someone how much you care without having to spend a fortune? Think about it and apply this knowledge in your daily life. And if you want to continue learning about how small actions can transform lives, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. The next video could be the missing step towards real change in your life.